Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Instead of talking about what's in trend for 2025, I thought we could have the opposite approach and show some love to past trends that have fallen out of favor and probably cycled to the back of your wardrobe. The goal is simple: can we bring these back to life with the humble power of styling? Now, personally, I don't really like including trends that are like just tipped off their peak and are now going to be heading downwards, because I feel like that is just playing into the sped up trend cycle. People get on TikTok and start saying, oh my God, I'm sick of seeing this everywhere. All of a sudden, everyone's too scared to wear it anymore. So as much as I've been seeing discourse about bubble skirts at the moment, I am choosing to look a little bit further back in the timeline to tennis skirts. You can't tell me these weren't an absolute staple at one point, but where are they now? The funny thing is, it's actually a very classic style that's pretty easy to work with, but because of the oversaturation back in 2020 TikTok, it's just hard for people to break that association, I guess. But the thing is, pleated skirts in general haven't fallen out of favor. It's just this exact silhouette. Like if you think about it, you still see pleats in a longer length or still in the mini, but it's more of a low rise, which is why I think the easiest way to update this for 2025 is literally just don't wear a crop top with it. Instantly, that's already taking our mind away from that 2020 version. But if you wanted to hammer that home even more, then I would also add a low-waisted belt. Literally the easiest hack to be able to revamp an old skirt rather than purchasing something new. I think something else that's kind of helped pull it into present day is the choice of color palette. Back in 2020, things were definitely very saturated and bold, whereas nowadays I feel like people are more partial to a pastel. Definitely myself included. This just feels very much in my comfort zone. 100% would happily wear this out in a heartbeat. Honestly, this has to be one of my best examples of wearing versus styling. Something that truly will never go out of trend in this digital day and age is keeping yourself safe and secure online, which is exactly what I've been doing for many years with today's video sponsor, award-winning VPN Surfshark. Surfshark is a virtual private network available to download now as an app or browser extension. Whether you're at home or out using public Wi-Fi, you really don't know what's lurking in the background. But with Surfshark, your personal data becomes encrypted, anonymous, and secure in their private VPN tunnel, which prevents scammers from getting sensitive information and companies and bots from tracking your every move. And of course, with a couple of quick and easy clicks, you can also unlock content from around the world that's not usually available in your region. And all of this applies to unlimited devices under just one account. And apparently they're just the gift that keeps on giving, because not only can you try it all risk-free thanks to their 30-day money-back guarantee, but they're also offering an exclusive deal if you head on over to surfshark.com/spotlight. At the moment, they're offering 4 extra months for free. You can scan the QR code on screen, or as always, more links in the description box. I know sometimes people struggle with something that they've truly loved for years becoming trendy, because they already know that means inevitably it'll be out of trend in the near future, but the simple solution is to just keep wearing it, which is definitely what I do when it comes to footwear. I don't know if you've noticed, but I am indeed still a chunky shoe enthusiast. I think it's actually impossible to take that away from me. Growing up as a Bratz kid, like, of course I'm choosing the chunky shoe option. Especially when it comes to sneakers, chunky has been demonized. It has to be super flat and streamlined. And I can see the appeal. I have been dabbling in some more flat Mary Jane options recently, but at the end of the day, my personal taste, a big-headed bitch wants some big-ass shoes. Is balance. It just makes sense. I feel like it'd be the easy way out to go for a flat form Buffalo London adjacent shoe, because I still wear these all the time. I think they pair up perfectly if you're going for a really baggy, oversized pant. It just gives the jeans something a little heavier to sit on, which I think ends up creating a nicer shape anyways. The other way I find them to still come in handy is if I'm doing a wider leg warmer. But in order to be truly fair today, I think we need to take on the challenge of an ugly white dad sneaker, very much of the filler disruptor era. Now, my apologies, because mine are a little bit beat up. They've seen better days. I have had them since 2019 and I actually do still wear them. I tried just opting for a casual, effortless outfit combo that I feel like I see pretty frequently on Pinterest and TikTok, just so we get the full idea, because you can't tell me that this outfit isn't still giving exactly what it would give if I switched out the shoes for like an Onitsuka Tiger or Adidas Samba. I don't know, maybe that is just my personal bias coming into it, but if that's the case, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. Remember the viral House of Sunny dress? I feel like that truly put the fear in everyone. And as a result, today trends are a little bit more vague, I guess, and overarching, which means that there's more variety within rather than just, no, buy this one very specific item. Now, I never bought in on that dress, but she wasn't the only diva of her time, okay? And there was actually a couple of other contenders specifically in this shade of green, and that is the Unif sweater or this like Jenny Kim dupe cardigan. Am I crazy, or were these also everywhere in 2020? And to be be honest, if you were able to just erase all previous memories of these items, looking at them for the very first time right now, I think they're still cute. And that 2020 era really felt like growing pains for a lot of people. Like they were just dipping their toe in the fashion world. So yeah, sometimes it can be a little rough looking back, but I think one of the skill sets that a lot of us have developed over the last 5 years is layering. So 100% that's what's going to be most helpful when it comes to restyling these items. And I know sometimes layering feels like it's reserved for only a cold climate. So I did try to do one winter and one summer look. Sadly, I think at this point it's fair to say that bows have lost their mainstream appeal at least. There'll always be a demographic for bows because they are a classic, especially when it comes to in the hair or like small ribbon details like this. But it definitely did become too oversaturated. And as a result, the more in your face bow motifs I think have seen better days. I've only just now realized that despite how much I love the bow trend, apparently I was partaking in it in smaller increments, I guess. This by far is my loudest piece we have to work with. It's literally just a bow stuck to my chest. Since it is more of a statement piece, if I wear it like this with like a high contrast underneath or even just on its own, I feel like all the attention is drawn to it. So the easiest solution to me is just to match the color of the statement item with the base item as well. So in my case, that's obviously going to be black, but I decided to take it a step further and also make it patterned. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe that'll help draw the eye to the base outfit rather than the alleged statement piece, I guess. Honestly, the biggest win here for me is the polka dot set. You might remember in a wishlist video last year, I mentioned the set that Sabrina Carpenter wore. I ended up holding off. I've already had this skirt for years and years, but ended up thrifting this top, which the polka dot size isn't an exact match, but I don't know, I think it's doing the job. Truly, my brain isn't even registering the fact that this is a bow anymore. It just looks like a crop top layered over the top. I think I did get kind of lucky that my bow of choice is black, but if yours is more of like a bold pop of color, I think you can still just follow the same formula of going for a more monochromatic look. And I know some of you are probably thinking, but you're just styling it with the next trend and continuing on the cycle, which I see what you're saying, but to me, polka dots are a classic. Like stripes, dots, gingham, plaid, all of those have some periods in time where they are more popular, but they never go out of style per se, at least in my opinion. I think one of the main reasons I've been kind of struggling with making trend related content recently is because there's almost like this sense of superiority if you're on the trend early. Even just opening the comment section of a trend prediction video, guaranteed the comments will be, this has already been trending. I don't know, because even that doesn't really bother me, but I think it's just that the trends that I've been speaking about for the last couple of years, I still genuinely enjoy. I'm not ready to move on yet, which now that I'm thinking about it, I think is actually the roadblock because I just feel repetitive getting on here and talking about the same trends still. But what my point was supposed to be is that it doesn't matter where on that trend graph you're discovering said trend, even if it's already on the decline, if it actually feels genuine to you, just embrace it. For me, that has been cargo skirts. I feel like these were really popular a few years ago, like at the same time as the kind of parachute pants. I just didn't really connect with it originally, but I found this late last year in Korea and all of a sudden I'm a cargo skirt girly years after the initial trend began. I think how this managed to happen is that I've been gravitating more towards softer, warm neutrals rather than just staying in my comfort zone with the black. And my go-to is always a longer length skirt, but I feel like a lot of the ones in brown almost give like a boho sort of vibe, which definitely isn't my typical aesthetic. So I think that the cargo skirt ended up being the perfect compromise that I needed. And what I decided to team it up with on top today is something that typically I'd pair back with like white frilly coquette vibes or something that leans more preppy. But by opting for this skirt instead, it just instantly freshens up the look for me at least, which again is just a reminder that it's okay to discover things in your own time. There should be no time limit on when you can become a fan of a trend. Okay, this one doesn't necessarily have to be as specific, but obviously we see a lot of aesthetics referenced and labeled and they come in and out so quickly. A couple off the top of my head that I feel like we saw last year and now I barely see at all are office siren, mob wife aesthetic. They honestly come and go so quickly that some of the ones from 2020, 2021 are already being rebranded for this season. In general, I don't really think it's a great idea to buy all in on one particular aesthetic. I just feel like I would get so bored and stagnant with my wardrobe. But if there is an item that you bought with a very particular style in mind that you don't really love anymore, don't feel like you have to be boxed into that original vision. You can definitely make it work. Now, I'm no office siren baddie, clearly, but I feel like for the most part they are teaming it with like a tighter, more revealing shirt. So immediately to switch up the vibe, I want to go in the opposite direction, going for something baggier and hopefully something that has more of a street style feel to it. This oversized button up does the job, and actually I feel like the pants are helping out the shirt just as much. They really help bring some polish to the look for a shirt that otherwise could almost be leaning into pajama territory. Honestly, in the end this ended up being just a complete hodgepodge mess of all different aesthetics rolled into one, but I think that's actually what makes it work. Reminds me of the sort of outfits I'm always lacking on Red Note, Xiaohongshu, which is my favorite place to get style inspo, so that definitely checks out. Actually, if you guys want to see me do a part 2 to taking inspiration from photos over there, do let me know. May or may not have also finally done a sneaky purchase from Taobao, so now, if you have been here for a hot minute, you know that I was a vest girly before the vest girlies were girling, aka a 2018 K-pop stan. Don't get me wrong, you do still see some vests here and there. Personally, I still have quite the extensive collection, but I feel like they are no longer at the height of their powers. In fact, they were traded in for like a more fitted waistcoat style quite some time ago. But I'm sorry, to me, these will always be cute, just a timeless layering piece. So if you've put yours in wardrobe purgatory, it's time. Don't be scared. Break them out. I figured the argyle print specifically is what would have been associated with like that fast fashion trend, and I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to make it not feel preppy, so I decided just to embrace it, the Tommy February of it all, and also very like Seth and Anna from the OC, which to me at this point is just a timeless reference because it has lived in my subconscious since I first saw it. So yeah, totally understand this isn't going to be for everyone, but personally I love it, and I feel like those of you who also aspire to look like a Pinky Street figure could also appreciate it. I feel like the teddy motif is also very trinket girly coded, which reminded me of this particular creator on TikTok, so I kind of took inspiration from her style by trinketifying this tie. But looking at it now, I'm actually thinking I should have put it on a colored tie just so there was a bit more contrast. But overall I like this. I think that the vests previously were in a very traditionally preppy vibe, whereas this is just a little bit more relaxed, almost like leaning Sandy Liang vibes. I actually don't know if this one really counts because it's definitely still popular amongst like certain pockets of the fashion world, but for me personally it's been a while since I've regularly reached for this, and that is a blazer. I do still sometimes see this sprinkled throughout when I'm scrolling on Pinterest, but just not to the level it once was. I swear at one point this was like the go-to outerwear selection. I still have a few options I haven't parted ways with, but I feel like the only one I actually wear is this denim hybrid. So today I really wanted to challenge myself with a pattern instead, and again, to reference 2018 K-pop, that was the reason I got this. I thought it'd be a nice nod to still pair it back with jeans, but obviously just playing up the layering a little bit, the combination of just blazer and jeans doesn't really speak to me. It's just a bit stuffy and formal, but the simple addition of the sheer dress really brings that girly, whimsy, playful vibe I'm looking for. This is another one I'd consider a success for me. I would happily wear it. Like I said, I don't know if blazers are necessarily out of trend. They just weren't something I had been reaching for recently, but I actually think that the outfit formula could work if you substitute it in for whatever outerwear you haven't been reaching for yourself. Also, not just outerwear, but in general, let me know what trends you feel like you've fallen out of love with and need some help restyling in your wardrobe, and maybe I can include them in the next video. At the end of the day, I'm never going to be one to shame people for participating in trends. I mean, a bunch of the stuff that I used in the styling process will probably eventually find themselves in videos like this down the line, but as long as you're being mindful while shopping and making purchases that you feel confident you would still be able to love and style even once they fall out of favor with the general public, then I feel like that's the sweet spot of like trend and personal style. I don't know, me and that term kind of have beef at the moment. That is for a whole other video. In the meantime though, don't forget to check out today's video sponsor, Surfshark VPN, for that exclusive deal. You can also catch me over on TikTok and Instagram. I've been trying to post a little bit more frequently over there just because it's been a struggle to get a YouTube video out. My apologies, it's very much giving depressed struggles to get dressed, but hopefully I'll be seeing more of you really, really soon.